Boy, was I spot on. What did I say? They were gonna do the parade and go have a cookout. They did it immediately. Immediately. They came back and had a cookout. While there's tons of cars, bikes right now speeding up and down Main Street, not even 50 feet behind me, because they're all sitting here. What up, Swine? What up, Jenny? Just showing everybody that I was correct. I thought they would run back and have a cookout right after the parade, and that's exactly what they did. Now everybody's speeding up and down Main Street right now. There's bikes doing 3 times the speed limit, which I don't care about. I don't want to see anybody get tickets, but I mean, I also don't want to see anybody get clobbered by a motorcycle. And people wouldn't be speeding if these guys were out sitting around. But I think everybody out here basically knows now if you're going to commit a crime during the day. Because day shift doesn't actually go out and do anything. I can't get zoomed in on that much with this. Can I? So there's that car. They're right in here. Oh, that's the back of the grill right there. And they got Ravella. Manager Ravella cooking. That was actually the biggest parade I've ever seen in Willimantic. Ever. Oh, here's Saplicki and whoever that is. They're really working hard. They had to go stand out in the sun for an hour. Now they're just gonna sit around. And what do they do with all these extra cops now? Because they had a ton of extra cops on shift for a mid-Friday, or yeah, it's Friday today, right? Mid-Friday. Do they go home, or do they just, what up, our guy, sit around on the payroll for the rest of the day eating? And look, I'll show you guys this, because I used to be able to get a lot closer, and anybody else in the whole world could, just not me, because it's me. But you see this parking garage right here. This is a public parking garage. It was built for the public, for us to use. The first floor is obviously restricted for the police, even though they still just take all the public spots out there. You can go up on the second floor and look out right there and get right even with them. Well, they trespassed me because the last time they were having a cookout, I went up there and I asked them if I could have some food and talk some shit. So now I can't use the public parking garage. Everybody else can. I could use the first floor, they said. I can't use anything else. And that was coming from these guys. The guy who trespassed me didn't even know what the First Amendment was or what it entailed. He didn't know that recording is, if you're recording public officials, that counts as, that's your business, clearly. That is Manager Ravella right there. He wanted to be a cop so bad, except for no departments would take him. He tried to get into state police 2 or 3 times, failed miserably. I think East Hartford or Hartford. I think it's 8 or 9 total departments, and yet Willimantic is the only department that would hire him. He also was in a drug raid. He worked at a cellular store, and the store was raided because they sold drugs out of it before he was a cop. And he didn't get in any trouble because he didn't claim he knew anything about it. Who's he talking to on the phone? Hard work. Manager Ravella. He's the same one that came and assaulted me because I was filming the stop up on Jackson, despite another guy being there filming even closer than me. These retards only cared about me. So, he's not that bright. He's really just not that smart. This is the same department. They shut down all their public parks last year, claiming there was going to be a street takeover. And I FOIA'd all the information on where they got there was going to be a street takeover because, they claimed there was going to be one. They said it was a Facebook post, but they can't provide the post. They can't provide any evidence. And they had every one of these bums on the department in our parks eating pizza on overtime all day just to kick you out of the park, just to make sure you couldn't use the park. Well, someone's got to, happy life. It takes a special person to like somebody that abuses them. But this is Willimantic, and this is why, honestly, this department needs to be shrunk. Probably in half, maybe in quarter, because this is what they do. They sit around all day all day. You can come to this department, I think the past 10 times, maybe 20, maybe even more, that I've been here during the day. Every one of these bums are sitting here. They don't go out and do anything. So why are we paying them? Then second shift comes on, and they go out and harass everybody. They're the money earners, the big ticket. You know what I mean? But it's just what these winners do. We worked hard for an hour. We got a whole half a shift left. We're gonna go grill. Who else do you know gets to just sit around and hang out on the clock? I couldn't do this. I know, swine. I don't. People are retarded. They really think, oh, you're really getting to me by helping me. You know what I mean? Oh, Zach, there is? Where are they? Because it sounds like you're just making stuff up, bozo. What an idiot. Oh, I'm going to say something that I don't really know and pretend it's true. Where are they? How come all the cars are here? What are they patrolling on? Their bicycles? There's a few coming back from the parade. That's where some are coming back from. Gotta go to the cookout. Nobody's out patrolling anything. Thank you, Bill. Stop crying. You are right. Name a car for an edit? What's that even mean? Here? No. Not. I mean, in Connecticut, yes. Not Willimantic. They've really only been hitting, from what I've seen in this state, courts. They grab everybody at court. That's what they're doing. People that have freshly caught. Who's a Democrat? You're so goddamn dumb. This guy is stupid enough to believe that I'm as dumb as he is. You realize that a Democrat, a Republican, you know they're the same thing. They do the same exact things. I'm not one of these retards that'll cry about one side and then turn around and support the other. Like all these idiots crying about, no kings, no kings. Where were they when Obama was deporting record-breaking amounts of illegal immigrants? Where were they? Nowhere. You know what I mean? It's people who cry about stuff. We don't support that, and then they turn around and support it. You don't really care about it if you selectively enforce when you say something about it. But to each his own. And yeah, it just blows my mind that people are, just because you're dumb enough to believe that one side is somehow better than the other side doesn't mean everybody does. Oh, that makes you a Democrat. That makes you a Republican. I mean, you can support whoever you want. I'm just saying it's kind of stupid to support either of them when they do the same things. Everybody comes out and is about rights, and they want to protest, and they want to do this and that, but nobody's actually protesting anything that matters, that they can change. They had like 3,000 to 6,000 people out here on whatever that day was, where they dressed up and had all the funny hair colors and raided around with pride flags, whatever day that was. And you don't see any of them come out any other time. Never. I do too. That's why I don't care. Like, people can do whatever they want. If that's what you want to do it. Oh, doesn't really matter. I can have my opinion. That doesn't mean it's right, and that doesn't mean it's wrong. And honestly, you could be doing something that I don't even agree with. As long as you're not breaking the law, what's it matter to me? How does it affect me? It doesn't. That's all they do. People are so slow that's like, people don't understand that they want everybody fighting. They want everybody arguing. Because if you're too busy arguing with the next idiot about stuff that really doesn't matter, or that you're not going to change, you're never going to catch on to what's really going on. Just makes them more money. What up, Ripple Effect? Just went over and showed everybody the Boombox Parade in Willimantic, Connecticut, and I had a feeling that these winners were going to come back and have a cookout, and they did. And like I said, it's a lot better if you come out here. Like anybody else comes to Willimantic, you can go right in the parking garage and you can get the perfect shot. You're literally 30 feet from them, but they trespassed me from this public parking garage, so I got enough stuff going on. I can't, I'm not going to risk it because that's what they'd want. And no matter if the cops are right or wrong, you go to court in Connecticut, you're wrong. You're wrong, and the cops are always right. But it's dangerous coming out here because these guys don't understand really anything. Most of them are like rejects from other departments or that wouldn't be hired by any other departments. So they're already starting off below the pedestal. And it's wild though, because when I was walking back from the beginning of the parade, there was literally people going up Main Street doing like 50, 70, flying up Main Street. And there's people walking everywhere. I was like, what is going on? Oh yeah, the cops are having a cookout. As long as you're out in town before 3 o'clock for whatever shift change is, you can go do whatever you want. That's your time to commit crimes in Willimantic. Because these idiots are sitting here doing this. They're all going to eat. Maybe go do some drugs that they just stole from somebody. Working hard. Or hardly working. I don't know which one it is. But it's something like that. I wish I could just go have cookouts in the middle of the clock when I'm at work. But that's what happens when you're held to a standard. You can't. I wonder what they do all day after the cookout. I'd like to know. I wonder if they have a video game room in there. I wonder if... What up, Modern? I'm just showing everybody that I was correct and that they did have a They literally ran right back and had a cookout. Literally, that's what they did. Well, people are flying up and down Main Street, just doing whatever they want. Sit in the AC all day. I'm not sure. I mean, I really wish I could go in the parking garage, but I gotta look a little more into that. I don't know how long. Some people said, oh, the trespass warning lasts for a year. And I haven't really found it yet in Connecticut. So if it is a year, I could go up there and they would just run out and trespass me again. But, oh, they kidnap people every day. Every day. This is what they do, especially Willimantic. I can't even go out there. I can't cross this line. I'd go sit on one out front, but that, and this is the only restricted part in the whole parking lot. And for some reason, not even just this, there's a public lot on the other side of the department over there, and they have the left side of that lot, and yet you go over there and they still have all their cars parked in the public spots. That's 2 hours parking, just like out front all day. They have this whole parking garage. The department, all these idiots park out front, and if you ask the chief why they get to park out front, and they don't get tickets, he literally will tell you, oh, officer discretion. And I said, what the hell does that mean? I said, so you're saying that you'll use your discretion to not give them tickets? And he said, I didn't say that. And I said, well, what the fuck is that supposed to mean then, genius? And then a month later, he got promoted to chief. Or he was already chief at that point. I don't know. Either or. Silva is an idiot. Silva is useless. He's actually the reason I found out that these guys go do their laundry in the middle of shift. Because I caught him doing it. I don't know. Normal people don't think of that. I didn't even think of that stuff. I didn't think that they could do that. I don't understand why you can't drop your laundry off before or after work like any normal person would. Because you know they're not doing it. They're getting it pressed, folded, and whatever the gay thing is they do to gay uniforms. That's what they do. But I'm not going to keep everybody on. I just wanted to show everybody that this is what they do out here. And I'm not going to lie, I think every department I've been to, in the history of Connecticut departments that I've been to, every single one of them has had a grill sitting outside. They don't like, and they won't give you food if you ask. I've asked them for food, water, you know what I mean? They don't want to help anybody out. They say no. And it's just weird. That's Manager Ravella. He likes to assault really anybody, but especially citizen journalists. Makes his little wee-wee hard. Something's got to be right. And while I can't go up in this parking garage, you know what's funny is anybody else can. They actually have people that come in and go up and they do photo shoots. They don't even pay for spots, but they do photo shoots. Kids come and use it for skateboarding and bicycling, and that's all cool. But you go up there to take a goddamn picture of them having a grill party, you're done. I actually got away with it a few times and called their bluff, and then Lucier caught me one time after I was coming down, and he's, "Oh, you got nothing to do up there." I said, "What are you talking about? I'm conducting my business." And he didn't understand what business was because they're not that smart. Who are all these people? So that's what goes on here. My fucking lighter's dead. Hold on. Huh? You hungry? I'll take that. Thank you, bud. You're welcome. Let me give you a handshake. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. I tried before and I couldn't get it, man. You're the first one to give me some food. I'll take it. Thank you. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. To me, it's little things like that. I mean, I guess if you don't ask, they'll give you some food. If you do ask, they'll give you some. If you don't ask, they'll give you food. If you ask, they're not giving you nothing. And I don't even know who that was. I really thought they were coming to talk shit at first. I didn't know they were going to offer me some food. But I'll take it. I don't know if I should eat it. I don't really trust Ravella. But we'll take it. I mean, I'm not going to stand here and stay on because it's not going to do anything. I just wanted to show people that. I knew it. I knew that's what they were going to do. And that's what happened. So we're going to go out. And I saw that he was the one riding a bike at the parade. And I should have got his name then. I didn't see his name on his shirt. But it only took 2 years to get a hot dog. Yeah, so I'm going to be out here for a bit. I got the scanner on. There's a bunch of medical calls going on everywhere. There was just one, they went up straight up before. And I could go swimming. I don't know, my girl's at the pool right now, right up the road. But I feel like if I don't know, I don't want to go sit in the sun. I sit in the sun all goddamn week anyways. Just not in the water. But I hope everybody else enjoys the day. I always watch, dude. When I come out here, look I gotta have a backup camera. And all these reports, Giller. Because not just from footage we've seen, from what we've seen in real life, but even other people are saying it. I've complained about it, that he manipulates his body camera. He doesn't use his camera right. And it's funny because when they tried making me talk to him and they tried making me get along with them, one of the times he arrested me, and I did. I gave him a shot. I'm not opposed to giving certain people a second chance. And at that point, I didn't really have any solid, concrete evidence on him. So I didn't. I gave him a shot. And his excuse was because I told him exactly what everybody was saying, that he can't do those things because he wears a body camera and everything's caught on camera. and blah, blah, blah. Which sounds real good. It does. It sounds good. But if you watch the videos, if you watch his body cameras, if you pull anything, it's quite easy to find out it's a blatant lie. He absolutely abuses his camera. And even if it's caught on camera, he'll flat out lie about it in the report. So the camera don't mean much if you can blatantly lie in the report, if you can shut it off. And 90% of the time when these guys are starting their cameras, the quote-unquote crime or infraction or whatever they're claiming that happened already happened. Because Willimantic, their car cams don't turn on until their lights come on. And usually their body camera doesn't come on until after that. So everything's not caught on camera, and you absolutely can just do whatever you want. So they'll say whatever to sound good, but when it comes down to it, they don't follow it. They don't even follow this. And just like the Police Accountability Bill of 2020 and all this other stuff that they've put in place for these cops, none of it's followed. So we just had to make another law in Connecticut to make the police enforce the law on the highway. We've had a law that you're not supposed to travel in the left lane on the highway for, as far as I can remember, since I was a child. So why did we need to make another law stating that the police have to enforce it? Everybody's been bitching about it for, I don't know, it seems like at least a year. It's been a really big deal. And yet they don't do nothing about it. I've never seen anybody stopped for traveling in the left lane. Not solely. Maybe it was added on in something else, but I've never seen the police pull somebody over for traveling in the left lane. So I don't know why all these people just wasted more time to put a law in that they're not going to enforce. They don't do it as it is. So why would they do it now? Because they have to? Just like they have to do all this other stuff that they don't do? They want to do speeding tickets and that's it. Or you could be like Pelletier and do seatbelt tickets, and look what happened to him. He got hit and killed because he wanted to stop somebody on the highway. Traveling down the highway, not bothering anybody because he didn't have a seatbelt on, and it cost that cop his life. Why? What's it matter? What does it really matter if that dude crashes and doesn't have a seatbelt on? Who's it affect? Him? His family? You know what I mean? Nobody else. And I wouldn't be pulling over on the side of the highway to harass somebody about anything, never mind a goddamn seatbelt. But as we know, they'll do anything for that federal money, and that's what it was. They were doing it it was a federal program. So they care more about getting that money than they do keeping officers safe. And I don't know why they don't just use common sense. If you're going to stop somebody, why don't you just tell them to get off the next exit? You know what I mean? Hey, bud, why don't you keep going and get off that exit? Instead of just standing in the highway like a fucking idiot. And we spent millions. I don't know how much because I can't get a final number, but take 75% of the state troopers in the state that were on duty that day. They all left their posts, left what they were doing, and went to drive around his body. Hundreds of cops driving around together, bringing a dude that was hit from here to here to here. He was already dead. Why were all these cops parading around the dead cop? Why were they all on duty? Then his funeral. You think all them idiots there you think they weren't on duty? They were definitely getting paid to go to this funeral. All the money that was spent on it, they paraded him around that day. Like, it was pathetic. And they do that back to back. They did the same thing when the troopers were hit, or quote unquote ambushed in 2022. The state made a GoFundMe. They co-signed it. Why are we setting up a GoFundMe for a family That they shouldn't be attached to anything. They're not out here raising money for people that they kill or lives that they ruin. Are they? No. So why are we doing it for this guy? They also changed all the laws as far as pensions go and this and that because his wife wasn't eligible to get his pension. So we changed that so we can make sure we give them even more money. We can pay out more. They don't care about anybody else's pensions or, you know what I mean? Just yours or theirs, not yours. But, and it's weird because it's like literally like a ghost town now. Look at, there's cars out here, but there ain't nobody out here. This is a dead town. And everybody, more and more businesses just keep leaving. They just lost their biggest drug program out here last year. They've lost all their program houses because that program was the only program out here running houses like that I know of. It was the first women's halfway house in the state. They got rid of that. And at least before it was known as a big recovery town, right? It's not really known for that either anymore. And at least before it had people coming in looking for work and this and that. People out here don't want to, well, the only jobs you have out here are minimum wage, low pay and entry jobs. Really? You can go work at the trash processing plant, the one the mayor owned, and magically sold off after a huge fire and he got all the insurance money for it. Right before he became mayor, he owned it. That's the same mayor that got his job, his daughter that was a drug addict, which, again, I have no problem with anybody that struggled with drugs or does whatever. I help people get into programs all the time. But you ain't offering nobody else in this town a goddamn job that was an addict, so why does she get it? And I don't think, I don't see how she was picked over anybody else anyways. Even if there was a qualified applicant, how was she picked over them? She was probably the only applicant, I would guess. They probably just gave her the job. Even though there's a no nepotism rule, it doesn't matter. Just like he said, he doesn't get paid. And we caught that bluff. Just like he's telling everybody else to donate money all the time. They told me that despite the median salary in Connecticut being 70 or 80 grand for mayors, he doesn't get that. They said he doesn't get any money. And then when I FOIA'd it, come to find out, he did get money. They just wouldn't tell me. They took $5,000, donate their money to this place or that place, spend their money in town. All he did was give his money to, they claim he put his money in a fund for the town hall employees to have parties throughout the year. So they got $5,000 to have parties throughout the year. Well, why didn't he donate that money to the no freeze shelter? Like he kept telling everybody that I should be donating to this place and that place. He actually agreed to a fundraiser with me because he kept telling me to do them. Oh, you should do a fundraiser. Why do I need to? You're the rich guy. You're the guy that just sold off the trash plant and who knows what that went for. But we know you got all that insurance money before that. So I told him I'll absolutely do a fundraiser. But if I do, you're going to 4 times what we raise. You're going to quadruple it. And he agreed. But the next time we talked about it, he said, no, I didn't say that. I said double. And then the time after that, it went from, I didn't say that. I didn't say that ever. And luckily, it was in an email correspondence, so we have the evidence. And like I said, luckily, because you can't even, I thought I lost it. So I went to FOIA the emails from the mayor, but suddenly they claim there's no transactions between us. There's no messages. That's what they told me. So, I mean, what would that indicate? He deleted the messages? I mean, that's what I would lean towards. Oh, let's not forget the first time I ever met the mayor was at, I don't think it was this parade. I think it was the one before it in the year. But 2 years ago, and he said something to me, and at first I didn't even know who he was. And I'm like, oh, this is the mayor. So I decided to ask him why the police department was withholding public records. And he said, how old are you? At the time, I was like 33. I said, I don't know, 33? What's that have to do with anything? He told me, you should be out fucking bitches instead of worrying about public records. I said, what? He said, yeah. You should be out worrying about girls and this and that instead of... And I regret not recording it, but I bet you if I was recording, you probably wouldn't have said it. But that's the mayor out here. The dude's a complete retard. But that's what happens when you live in a town like this in Connecticut. It's when voting season comes up, the signs they put out don't even say, oh, vote for Democrat Tom DeVivo or this guy or this. It literally just says, vote Democrat. And you get all these idiots, oh, I'm a Democrat. I support the blue gang. I'm going to vote for the blue gang. And they do. They don't care who it is, what they're doing, what their agenda is. As long as they align with their favorite gang color, they vote for them. And, I mean, what do? The mayor, he ran to the paper and he told them that he wasn't ducking me. He would have a meeting with me, blah, 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 blah. Well, me and Tyrant Slayer set up a meeting with him, and guess what? He ducked us. The day of the meeting, he backed out, and has since refused to have a meeting with us. We go to the town meetings to speak, and they skip us, and they close the meeting out, and then they lie and they go, no, we called it, when they didn't call. It's on fucking video, you retards. Not just my video, your video. You guys put it out to the world. You clearly didn't call it. And then you go outside and you say something to the mayor afterwards, and I forgot who he was talking to, one of these retards from the town board, and she literally was like, oh, if you had something to say, why didn't you say it inside? Meh. Lady, you are fucking retarded. You don't realize that I'm literally out here saying something because they didn't call me. Right? And then they proceed to leave at 9:30 at night on a school night, beeping their horns, making a scene. And I was like, yeah, that's professional. Let's wake all these little kids up, try to go to school tomorrow, because you guys are fucking retards. But the DeVivo family is, I don't know, I feel bad because I know somebody that is friends with his daughter, or really close with his daughter. And I don't know how to say it the right way, but they kind of asked me to, like, leave it alone, but I can't. I didn't go to the paper. The mayor's the one that went to the paper. They went to the paper and had, I don't know what the local paper out here is called, I forgot, but they went to the paper after the first time the police out here arrested me for saying, don't consent to a search, tell them to kick rocks. AFA came out here around the same time, and I guess he had an issue at the town hall, which was weird because I go in there all the time, and I've never had an issue recording in the town hall. But he did, so I guess the mayor claimed that they were getting, his life was getting threatened. That's what they came out and told everybody, yet the examples that they gave the public weren't threats. Somebody said, I hope you get cancer and die. That's not a threat. Why are we wasting the police's time and having them investigate this nonsense? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. But they did, and then the paper went and wrote an article, but they didn't distinguish between who did what and what. So they just basically wrote an article about, started with me, I think. I don't know what order it went, but it started, but then it went like right into the other person, but they didn't tell the difference. So they made it look like my people were calling the mayor and threatening him. I didn't even have any followers at the time. Like, I probably didn't even have 10,000 people on my page at the time. So it wasn't my people. And when I got in touch with the lady who wrote the article, she gave me some half-ass excuse. She claimed she couldn't figure out how to get in touch with me before she wrote the article, which I found weird because she had my YouTube page, which has my email. But besides the point, when I did email her, she corrected it. She wrote a whole nother article a week later addressing everything. And that's really when the punk-ass DeVivo got called. Like today, where was he? Senator Blumenthal was out here, but the mayor wasn't. But I'm sure if we go back to his Facebook page last week and watch the video that he does, that nobody watches at the town hall every Thursday, he was telling people to come out here and spend their money, because that's all he does up there every week during the parade. Go out there and spend the money. Go spend your money in Willimantic. Local, blah, blah. Yeah, he's never out here. He's never out here for any of this. I've seen him at maybe one thing, maybe two. I think one parade and one toy drive. But that's it. I don't think you should be telling people to do anything if you don't do it. It's kind of a bad example, no? But he's kind of like I know we got some Blue Gang supporters out here, but he kind of reminds me of Sleepy Joe. The way he just mumbles and makes things up. He's kind of like a Biden's little brother, I'd say. Almost like they got dementia, like they're not fit for office, but they're out here. So, it's it though. And now it's a ghost town. I'm literally shocked at how little people are out here. Like literally, everybody skated. It's not even like I don't know, college gets out in the summer, so we lose a lot of that stuff. This is actually the bar right here, guys. This green building over here is the bar that, this is Blarney's. It's a local college bar, right? That's where a lot of the Eastern students go. Sometimes people travel from Yukon and all around. But for some reason, because most of the police don't actually live in this town, and I know Giller doesn't, so, but they would come drink there every weekend, all weekend, up until Midget crashed the car. I knew they were there. People were sending me pictures of them in there every weekend. And, I mean, really, what's it any of my business? It's not. They're off duty. They're allowed to have a life and do what they want, no? But do you really believe at the end of the night that they're Ubering home or they're not driving home? So, what are you talking about, Wanda? I'm trying to see it. What's BM's? What's that? But yeah, so they every weekend until the officer left drunk and crashed. And you know what's weird is, and they don't really talk about it, is there was other officers there that night with the dude. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. They've and it seems like the security and stuff there leans towards the police. Giller's had people kicked out of there because he didn't like what was going on, or you know what I mean? No business. I don't know. I wouldn't be supporting them. I would support your patrons. I mean, I get there in there but what's 1, 2 cops, 3 cops in there every weekend compared to everybody else? If everybody else stops coming because you got these idiots in here, what then? They're all over Facebook too. The past few years, there's posts of them there. Like, what are you guys doing? Drinking and driving. And the midget, when he crashed his car, he literally told everybody that his sister was driving. He tried to get her to take the blame. And luckily, EMS did the right thing and said no, he was definitely the one driving. I'm kind of shocked they don't have him back on the force already. I mean, is it because he was actually charged? Is that the only reason? Because they don't really care about when these cops are out here committing crimes. Maybe it changes when they actually get charged. It's so weird too. I used to hang out at all these back when my boys lived back here, over here, over here. Like the first time I ever took the police on a foot chase was right here. I literally got jumped by them. What house was it? This house right here. I stopped right here. I ran from all the way down there. They're waiting outside for me. This house here. They're waiting outside for me. I violated probation. And when I walked out of the house, probation officer jumped out of the freaking bushes and grabbed my flannel. I shimmied out of it. I took off. I ran out of my shoes. I ran as fast as I could. And I looked back and they would have caught me a lot sooner, but it was a school bus time. So all the buses were on the road. So they couldn't even chase me with their cars. So they were all on foot. The probation officer was the funniest shit ever. I wish I had a camera back then because it would have been hilarious. The dude tripped and fell. His gun went flying. Like, if I was a real scumbag, I could have got to his gun before him if I had turned around. His ass was on the ground. But I kept running. And then, even when I stopped, nobody was near me. But if I ran in the house, they would have just ran in the house after me. And I knew there was people in there doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. So I definitely wasn't going to bring heat to everybody. I mean, there are definitely people out there like that who wouldn't have cared, but I wasn't about to bring the cops into a house where a bunch of people are doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. Just because, and I'm going to get caught anyways. It's not like I can go out the back door. You're going to get caught. So, yeah, Wanda, you're not wrong. But that's like Danielson. Danielson refuses, even though they're finally catching on that I actually didn't do anything. I didn't actually interfere. If you look at our law, interfering statute, you know what I mean? And breach of peace, which are, any normal person looks at it and I feel like they just don't get it right because they don't apply all the pieces to it. But I feel like an officer should definitely be able to understand a statute. But Willimantic doesn't. We've seen it time and time again. They don't understand that to breach peace or interfere or do any of this stuff with speech alone, unless you're lying to them in an investigation or something, then, but that's not speech alone, I would say. But you have to use fighting words or actually threaten somebody. And I've never done that, not once. Nobody can go back and say, oh, you threatened him, you did it. Even my lawyer asked me the other day, he said, have you ever done anything that would be considered aggressive towards them? And I said, no, they're the ones that are aggressive towards me. What do you mean? Like, I mean, they're going to say I was aggressive because I said something that hurt their feelings. But as far as, like, in reality, being aggressive or making gestures, or no. Dude, every time they put their hands on me, I put my hands up and say, stop touching me. Because I know they're looking for something. They will take anything to slam me on my goddamn face and beat me down. Put me in a chokehold like everybody else. So, you know what I mean? I'm not giving them any reasons. And it's really hard as an adult. I don't know. When I was raised to not, you don't let people touch you. You know what I mean? So it gets kind of hard to just let these dudes do this. But at the end of the day, what are the options? Do something and get beat up and get more charges. People don't understand how court works in Connecticut. When they first arrested me, it's been almost 2 years now, I filed a motion to dismiss based on the grounds that I didn't actually violate the law. I included the law. I included a bunch of cases that this has been ruled on in Connecticut over and over and over, not just throughout the country, but Connecticut. So it's pretty clear. And I told the judge what's going on. The police department has told me that no matter what, they're going to keep arresting people despite what the law is because court keeps signing the warrants. And then they trap you because we had a hearing a couple weeks ago. Okay, before the hearing, we're challenging the arrest, right? Before the hearing, we're told we're not allowed to say that the arrest was unlawful. on face value. Like there was no grounds. We're not allowed to say that. And the judge's reasoning is because I wasn't arbitrarily arrested by the police, even though they tried, even though they violated policies and procedures, state law, they left jurisdiction for no reason. The reason was to harass my family, because instead of going to my house, they claimed they were looking for me, right? But instead of going to my house, they went to my girlfriend's mother's house and just told her what a bad dude I am and ran their mouths. Then after that, they went the other way and went to my girl's house to search her house for no reason, because they thought I was there, despite them having my address on every FOIA form I've ever filled out, every complaint form. They've sent the state police to my house before, so they clearly know where I live and chose to go everywhere but my address, right? State law says that they can't leave their jurisdiction unless there's two things. They have a warrant. If they have a warrant, they can go, or if they're in pursuit. They were in neither. If they had actually pursued me right when I left, they would have been all right. But instead, they chose to stay there and let that little chubby domestic abuser, they were there for a protective order violation for a domestic. In Connecticut, there is a duty to arrest in a domestic situation. You hear them say it all the time. We have to arrest someone. We have to arrest someone. Okay, well, they let her off and made her the victim, even though she swore at me and yelled and screamed at me. And I didn't say anything to her. I breached her peace, and I interfered, which doesn't make much sense. And then they brought her to court. I thought it was your own obligation to get to court, right? No, they went and picked her up and brought her. So, because I didn't think she'd show up. I really didn't. So, are they forcing her to go? Like, how do we know she's even there on her own free will? And that's where we're at. Even my lawyer, I was talking to the other day, he's like, well, Giller said in his thing, kind of like the camera, he always makes it a point. Oh, he had a camera. Like there's something wrong with that. Again, you would be an idiot to not film the guy that doesn't use his body camera. So, what's he say besides the camera? Oh, he said I have a history of interfering. And my lawyer was like, what, the times he's arrested you? And I was like, yeah, clearly. There's no other ones besides New Britain, which New Britain is in. We're just going to fly on this 25, aren't we? Good job. But New Britain's at a standstill. They don't want to move forward. The judge said that I lost the suppression hearing, which I don't really see how either way, but my lawyer blew it. He didn't include any of the evidence. He didn't include anything. He let the cops lie on the stand. There was a lot to it, but even after that, they wanted me to take probation. They thought I was going to take it. And when we went to court for that day, the judge said, I don't want this going to the appellate court. And they gave the prosecution a month, which I disagreed with. A month to go talk to the victims by themselves, go try and drum up something else. And I was like, why did we do that? We should be telling them no. We're not giving them more time to do anything. Well, we went back and my lawyer gave them another 2 months to go talk to victims. Well, we came back from that and clearly they didn't find anything because they didn't bring anything new up. But instead, hold on, I'm putting this camera away. So instead though, they just asked me if I was going to take the offer and I said no. So they put me back on the trial docket, and we've been on trial for, what, two plus years now? And that's where we're at. And I don't really know what they're going to do, but I think they're just going to sit there forever and then say, oh, we'll drop it now, 3 years, 4 years in, because that's what they do. The prosecutor truly tried to argue. Mary Rose Palmese, this lady's a retard, dude. She truly tried arguing with me, saying that it's her job to do the right thing and to help us and blah, blah, but yet she absolutely refuses to do the right thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. How's it your job and this and that, and yet you refuse to do the right thing? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Oh, John, I know that's what they're doing because they think that that's, they really told the court. Then that's what I mean is my lawyer didn't correct or challenge anything. And it's not like this is hearsay or I said or they said or my camera. This is all caught on their cameras. They truly went in court and told the judge that I told them that I went there to strain relations between the police and the public, which I never said. It's proven I never said that. And yet it's on the record. They think that I said that. And not just did my lawyer allow it, it's the prosecutor didn't even know if it was true or not, because she doesn't even know what happened. The department dropped the trespassing charge. Originally they charged me with trespassing. They dropped the trespassing charge before I even left the department, probably because that fat retard Barlasu, or whatever his name was, I want to stay in the goddamn shade, was sitting inside checking the cameras. So they realized before I even left that I didn't trespass, right? Well, Mary Rose Palmise added it back on right away. And the only thing in the whole, anywhere in the reports or anything that I get that she could have added it back on was, which doesn't make sense either, because Barlasu told the female officers, and they made sure to put it in their report, because if not, I mean, we'd know still because he says it on camera after, but we wouldn't have known that he said it beforehand. But while the female officers were walking down to me to tell me whatever they were going to tell me, he went and told them that he approached me and talked to me, which he did. But he told them that he asked me to leave, that I refused, that I was being a dick, that I wouldn't give him my name, that I was short with him, which didn't happen. I was actually perfectly fine with him and pleasant. I wasn't pleasant, but I wasn't rude at all. He just asked me if I needed help. I said no. He asked me the dumbest question ever of, you know you can't pass the gate, right? And I pointed to the sign and I said, yeah. And then he walked away whining about how they had a rough day. And I got no reason to lie to anybody. I'll tell the truth either way. I didn't know that day was the Bristol officer's funeral. I had no idea. I had no idea till I was in booking downstairs. So if he was having such a bad day, maybe say something more, like, let me know what's going on. I probably wouldn't have left, but there's a chance I would have. I don't know. I would have at least known what was going on. And even when he walks away, I said, oh, after he whines about having a bad day, I literally said, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, did he add trespassing back on? Did the prosecutor add the trespassing back on simply for the fact that he said he asked me to leave, even though he didn't? Because it says that there, though, but when he wrote his statement, he told the truth in his statement for the most part. I mean, he still tried to make it seem like I was standoffish and a dick, but he told the truth overall. So even if she saw that it said that there, why wouldn't she go off of his actual statement and not what he said? And even after they arrest me, when they got to court that day, they thought that they arrested me for trespassing and interfering. They truly believed I was trespassing, and you can tell by their body cameras. They talk about it. Oh, he can be up here for a minute. He can't stay up here, and this and that and that. Okay. Why did nobody ask me to leave? Why did they not even, they actually, in my eyes, kidnapped me. I said I was going to leave halfway through talking to the female cops, and they refused to let me leave. So they didn't ask me to leave. They wouldn't let me leave, and then they arrest me for not leaving. It doesn't make any sense. But back to the Danielson thing. I asked the judge 2 years ago to look into this case and realize what is going on here. And even though he denied to rule on my motion, and it's still sitting there now, he doesn't even know right now what's going on. My lawyer told me the other day that when they had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and the judge was asking what I did to interfere. Like, you don't even know what's going on 2 years in? I've asked you to look into this case. At least, not even, just look at what's going on, the facts. because clearly the department's going to keep doing it if you guys keep signing the warrants. So it's not just the department that we need to get on board here. It's the lawyers. Or not the lawyers, the judges. And which is even worse because they're more protected than anybody. Go get a judge to, go sue a judge after they ruin your life. Go sue a prosecutor. Let me know how it works out, because it's not going to. And it's not going to work out at all. And that's really what we need to change. Not just qualified immunity and cops on all public servants. It makes no sense that we have a thing in place to protect bad public servants. You wouldn't be getting sued if you did nothing wrong. If you were getting sued, maybe you would think about the decisions you're making instead of just making the wrong decisions. But I don't know. What other countries have qualified immunity? Does anybody know? Is there any other country? You don't even have to admit guilt. There is no such thing as due process, or guilty until proven innocent, or innocent until proven guilty. Because you're going to court and they're arresting you and giving you bonds, and if you don't take their deals, then they're going to make it even worse. What the fuck kind of system is that? They waste so much time and money, it's not even funny. Repeatedly. They will waste so much time, but the second they think you're wasting time, or you need an extension, or you know what I mean? Like I said with New Britain, they wanted 3 months to go talk to people. Okay, give me a month to go do something. You ain't gonna give me no goddamn time. So, I don't know why we're in such a rush when the tables turn. Danielson, dude, to have the hearing they wanted to have, state law, it's a law, it's a statute. They have 120 days to conduct said hearing, right? It's been 2 years. 2 years. And now they want to have it. And I said, I thought they had 2 years. My lawyer said, no, it's a directionary law. It's not a law. What the fuck is a directionary law? A law is a law. If it says you can't do it, you can't do it. I mean, it says they can if they have good cause. But Danielson Court doesn't have good cause. Sitting there asking me 2 years to take a deal I don't want to take is not good cause. In any way, shape, or form. Not where I come from. They still got their gang tank there too. I thought the police accountability bill said that they had to get rid of all military equipment. Just like it said, no more searching cars without probable cause. You know what I mean? How do we enforce these things like the left lane law that they just had to make? They just had to make another left lane law because the cops won't enforce it. So how do we get the laws enforced? We don't have sheriffs here, so it's not even like we have elected officials we could put pressure on. We just have local police who, once they're in, they're in. It's I don't think people really understand how hard it is to get one of these clowns out. They're protected by the union. They're protected by bargaining agreements. And I think those two things right there are some of the biggest things, along with qualified immunity. So 3 things that we really need to change. I don't know how it is in these other states, but we can't even get most of the bargaining agreements here in Connecticut. Even through FOIA, they're protected, they're blocked. Why can we not see what the agreements are between these trash unions and these corrupt police? Because most people would not be on board with these agreements. I know I've seen pieces of them and this and that, and I'm like, this is wild. It really is. I don't think there should be unions in public service. Why would we need? I just don't. I don't think it works. But this is what's going on out here, guys. I'm just blabbling. What up, Lauren? You want to see the Frog Bridge? We'll go see it real quick. I was going to end it, but we'll go check that out first. That is like the biggest piece of history out here. Well, not history, but thing it's known for. But it represents history. Smoke Zone. Everybody want to go get some Smoke Zone? I remember when a tattoo shop was there. The ink spot. There's actually a tattoo shop right here. This dude was on TV. I forgot the name of it, but that tattoo show where they would put artists against each other. They had to do like a competition. Is anybody on here? My phone died, and I had to let it charge a little bit. I didn't mean that, but it literally says it's in the same live. I don't understand. These people are still just riding their three-wheeler up and down the road. Completely. But as we know, Willimantic won't actually enforce anything on anybody that rides dirt bikes or illegal vehicles. But they'll shut down our parks and pretend like there's going to be street takeovers. But somebody wanted to see the Frog Bridge. We'll show the Frog Bridge. And then I'll end it. They just built that in Gilson. It looks like bathrooms. I would assume that's what it is. But I didn't even know these frogs. They had names. I think it's Willie, Manny, Swifty, and something. They're 11 feet tall. They're made out of concrete. The bridge was completed in 2000, they said. And they actually said the main purpose of it was for really emergency vehicles and traffic flow. But they said mainly emergency vehicles. I don't even know where the old bridge was, to be honest. I know there was another bridge down a little further. When the mill was still down there, but I don't know. I'm too young. I was still a kid back then. And to be honest, I moved to Chaplin in 2000, that year, 2000 or 2001. So my grandfather used to work at the mill down there back in the day. But it has to do with Willimantic was a really big thread manufacturer back in the day. And that's why they sit on spools of thread. And then the frogs are, I don't know the exact reason, I don't want to lie, but they said there's something to do with folklore, local folklore around the frogs. Is this open anymore? It seems like bars come in here, open up, and leave like within a few months. This guy's literally driving his three-wheeler around the park. Like, I get having your three-wheeler out here, but remember when they shut down our park last year? They wouldn't let anybody out there because they were scared of that exact thing. They had every cop on duty, and they refused to let people in the public parks and the cemeteries because they were scared that people were going to come out and ride dirt bikes. Which is weird, because don't most of the takeovers actually happen like in the street, not a field? Now he's going to drive down the sidewalk. I don't know. But yeah, the Frog Bridge. This is the Frog Bridge. Connects Main Street in Willimantic to Route 32. Norwich is that way. Lebanon's that way. Lebanon's that way. Yeah, there's one on each end. I don't know which one's which, if they're actually specifically named. I don't know why they didn't put any in the middle, though. See all the threads in the middle? They got two more spools on each side that they don't use. And it sits over I'll show you guys, the Willimantic. I don't know what the river's actually called. Shut up. It's in the turn lane, going straight. This part right here is the parking lot, but the river's up here. And I don't know if it's actually called the Willimantic River or what it's called. It's actually, they actually have the footbridge too, which is actually pretty dope. The mayor's trying to he wants to rebuild it. That's his goal. That's what he's trying to get people on board with, which I've never even seen that. I never knew this was here. I know there's an actual waterfall right there on the other side, down by DCF and stuff. I've never seen that though. How do you get out there? That's what I want to know. It's not really great fishing. I mean, there's definitely fish out here, but there's probably more trash than fish. I want to know how to get on that. I've never seen that. I don't see anything. I just see that. I never seen that. There's a walkway down there.
Oh, the walkway?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I never looked.
There's valves on that side. There's a gear and stuff, so it's got to go up and down.
Yeah, they just got done doing the pillar over there.
That one?
Yeah.
When did they do that?
The last year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like me and the 14-year-old kids or 16-year-old kids, we've been jumping off the pillow.
That's it, right? That's the trestles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. How deep is it over there?
There's a deep hole on the other side, dude. You can't reach the bottom of that though.
I grew up at Diana's pool. You ever been there?
Yeah.
I grew up right there. My parents owned a house right there.
Oh, no way.
That was the best spot in the world to grow up.
Hell yeah, man.
Well,
Yup. Jumped off that, yeah. There's a couple of one.
do people do it anymore?
There's one like in between the trees over here.
That's what I thought.
Back in the old days, they used to call it the itchy coo. But yeah, you jump off this rock. I painted an arrow. I don't know if it's
Show everybody where to go?
Yeah, just so we're
You fished in here before?
Not in this spot.
I did down there behind DCF.
That's what's up.
By the waterfall at the bottom.
Yup.
Over there I have. I want to go magnet fishing in here. How much shit you think's in here?
Ton of shit.
Bikes, I bet you there's so much shit in here. I bet you there's more bikes and mopeds than anything.
Guns.
Yep.
Knives.
Uh-huh. I saw a huge snapping turtle yesterday. Yeah, Mansfield.
Nice.
He was like this big. He's fucking trying to cross the road. I'm like, get out of the road, man.
That's what's up, though. Yeah, I love my rivers, man. I've been all the way up from Eagleville all the way down, basically.
Yeah.
My I call them the elbow.
What's this called?
This is the Willimantic River.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but once it gets down to South Winter, it's called the Shinnetucket.
Yeah. That's like the Natch Hog. You start at Diana's, you go all the way up to the state forests, the campgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
I've caught trophy trout in there, 29-inch trout, 9.5 pounds was the biggest fish I caught in there.
That's what's up.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I got my plugger stuck on fly fishing.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I just started? Bait casters. Have you used one of them things?
No.
Dude, it is completely different. It's
Yeah,
I still don't even. I went and bought a brand new pole.
My thumb, I'm like,
Yeah, they got brakes and there's adjustments now to make it easier, but it's still crazy, dude. You grew up out here?
my life, my man.
That's cool.
All my life. Up and down this river. I lost a friend.
Really? Remember when what's his name jumped from the bridge? Wasn't that Judd? Didn't he jump off of here?
No, he didn't jump off of here.
We're talking about the same person?
No, I don't think so, but his dad owns Jonathan's Club.
Okay.
The old Jonathan's next
Yep.
to Birch Street. And, yeah, he was down next to the river when it was raging and stuff like that.
Oh, that happened in Chaplin. A grandma died, dude. She went down there with like a 4 or 6-year-old grandchild in the middle of a torrential downpour, and she fell in, and the kid lived, but like
She pulled him out.
it was wild.
Yeah, the same thing. That's what happened. His cousin ripped him out, or tried to rip him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend died, man.
That's
He ended up down here. So
I believe it. That's no, dude. That river, even Diana's. I saw that so high, dude. The ground shook. When you walk down there, you would feel the ground move. That's how much
feel the
water.
water,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, it was scary.
Oh yeah,
Like-
man. Yeah, no, I used to jump off the top rock.
Yeah. I remember the rope swing. Did you ever go out there when they had the rope swing? That was years ago.
Yeah,
The rope swing.
They cut that down.
Yeah, but it was right by the rock.
Oh yeah.
But
No, put your sandals on and run and jump, son.
that was the coolest place to grow up, dude.
That's like this place right here, man.
Yep.
If you gotta go down the tracks and get on the tracks. Basically, you end up behind the apartments right here. Back
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
Yup. And there's a rock that you can run and jump off. And
Need
it's
your
pretty
speed.
sick. Yeah. This one here, yeah, you just
Which side do you jump off of? The left?
you jump off the far side.
That towards that way?
Yeah. Yep.
That's where it looks like it's the
Yup.
deepest.
Yeah, you jump that way. And yeah, that whole
I don't see anybody doing it anymore, though.
No,
Like when
don't
I was
know.
growing up, that's
Not-
where everybody was going.
Well, not since the construction has been happening, so nobody knows what's in the water.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Where's sandals? Where's some sandals?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like when the train comes and parks off it, these mother effers are climbing up on top of the carts
Oh, yeah.
and jumping off the top of the train.
No.
Yeah.
That's
man.
sketchy, dude.
Crazy, right?
That would be nuts. Because then you're not just jumping out. You got to jump. You got to guess where you're going to land going that fast.
Yeah, no, it's right in front of the pillar, man.
Yeah, no. I'm not doing that.
It says when you walk across it,
Yep.
they've been repainted.
How do you even get over there? Is it by the footbridge you walk over?
The frog. The old frog or the old bar over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can walk underneath the footbridge and you walk towards the tracks.
Can't you go through there too? No, because that's on this side, right? On that foot
Yeah,
trail
no,
right
you
there.
can get through
That's what I
there.
thought. It goes
Yeah.
over the top, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, you gotta walk on the tracks. Yep. I've been up and down all these tracks, man.
Look at there's a fish down there now. A little pumpkin seed. I see him.
Probably common.
Yep. There's a few of them I see. But
I got polarized. Yeah.
I've been dying to go fishing, real fishing. I've been going. I want to go to Mansfield Hollow and catch pike.
Bird and caught one. Man.
You have? Oh,
Yep.
yeah. They get
4
big,
foot.
don't they? Yeah.
4 foot. Man.
Yeah. I want to do it ice fishing.
I was like, I didn't know what to do with the thing, so I stuck my hands
Ah.
in it. Yeah, it had the teeth
Yeah.
inside its gills.
Uh-huh.
And those, oh man.
They're brutal.
Ripped me apart.
I believe it.
Yup. I got it into the canoe.
Fish in there.
Thing was towing.
Can't
towing
see it
my
with this.
boat around, man.
Yeah, dude, they're no joke.
Yeah.
That's
they're
the problem, though, is you got to have a boat. You can go from shore, but it ain't the same. You need to be out there.
No.
I want to get a kayak. That's what I'm going to get.
I got a canoe. I'm on rebuild right now.
Are you?
Yep. I got a nice camp spot over at Water Park.
Yep.
You know, I had to fix that up. We had a bad storm and flipped everything.
I'd be fucking taking a nap down there, man. That's where I would live, right there. This thing's fucking cool.
But yeah, somebody stole my canoe, man.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, they tore it all up.
That sucks. I want a John boat, the little ones with the flat bottoms.
Yeah.
Put a little trolling motor on it. You'd be going anywhere with them.
Yeah. I got the trolling motor. That thing was cool.
Do you? Yeah. Electric?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's weird how the water comes in here. Goes both ways, but it comes in here.
Oh yeah, man.
Where was the old bridge before this? Where was the traffic? It was right there, right?
Yeah.
It was
down
between the
there,
mills,
yeah,
right?
between the
That's what I thought.
apartments, Yeah.
What was that before it was apartments? The ones on the far ones.
It was
It was
just,
a factory, right?
Yeah, it was factory.
My grandfather worked there.
Yeah, was it my dad worked
Yeah,
there?
way back in the day. Remember it caught fire?
Yeah, thread mill.
Yeah, and
That's
it went
what
up.
was, yeah.
That was a bad fire back in the day.
Oh yeah.
There's
that
videos
was-
of it
that was
online.
mill 4, which was actually further down.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You couldn't sit on the tracks. The fire was so hot, you couldn't sit on the tracks.
There's videos I found recently of the fire on YouTube. Look on YouTube, you'll find them. It's like 95, right? Look them up, dude. It was, I was like, holy shit, dude. Because I was like 95, I was 6. So my grandfather talked about it.
Probably like 9 or 10 or some shit like that. Maybe 10.
Yeah. See? and I heard about it, but I didn't remember. Like, I don't know. I didn't think about it, and then I saw it recently, and I'm like, holy smokes, dude, that was horrible.
Yeah, man.
And I'm glad they turned it into apartments, though. The art space has really nice apartments. They're just expensive.
Yeah, those things
They're just
are good, man.
expensive.
I like what they're doing with these ones too.
Which ones? That
The-
new building?
Yeah.
That's
the
going to be
new
apartments?
Yeah,
Good for them.
They recessed the windows,
Yep.
so now you got like you got little patio and shit.
That's
slider
cool.
doors.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The armory's real nice, too. Over the footbridge.
The red one. The
Yep.
red one that's across the street. I always wanted that front facing one.
Yeah.
So it looks this way.
What'd they do with the Hooker Hotel? Still just
They
sitting there, right?
shit with
Just
that.
ruining it.
Yeah, they
Just ruining it. That mayor, I hate the mayor out here. This dude's trash.
I've been in it.
You have been? It's
Yeah.
closed now, right? They don't do anything with it, right?
Oh, yeah, it's all closed.
When did they close it officially?
Probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Willimantic, man. It's wild.
Yeah.
What? Were you out here for the parade?
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't seen that many people at a parade out here in a long time.
Man, it's the first time in like
Yeah.
8, 9,
Yeah.
10 years. I don't know.
Yep.
Man. But yeah, no, it's great, man.
It's weird though, dude. I thought you'd still see some people out here. There ain't fuck. It's like a ghost town already. Everybody left. It's like they're not even. They just come for the parade. And police are having a cookout. Everybody's doing their own thing, and nobody doing nothing. Relaxing. Yeah. It's just.
I used to be like that, man. I used to like. I had one of the big giant. If I were to have it on me, it would be dragging on the ground.
Yeah.
It was so big.
8 feet.
Yeah, it's one of the big ones.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. I am so about America, man. I'm about my brothers. I'm about the guys that gave their life for the country.
Yeah.
Gave their life for me.
Yep.
That's what's up. You're right.
Willimantic's famous too for what? The houses. It's got, I think more Victorian houses per like square mile than like anywhere.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, man.
it really, and they're letting a lot of them just go to shit. But
I know what most one.
which one?
It's a.
I want to know.
Green one. It's like a valley, right?
Go down valley,
Yeah, you keep going up, and once you get on the next top street,
Prospect.
that's Prospect. You'll see it, man. It's the old Victorian house. You walk into the kitchen, you open up the door, and it says 13 people have died.
Nobody lives there.
That thing has been there for almost like whoever owned all this.
Yep, own that.
Yeah, that's
I know Eastern owns some of them too. That's wild.
That's where they live.
But,
Yeah, 3-story Victorian houses.
yeah, tons of them too. Like,
That one's creepy. They had a nursery on the top floor.
really?
Yeah. Little kids. They're like, yeah.
You know where I want to go? Norwich State Hospital. They closed that down. That's been closed for a few years. That one.
Yeah.
Spooky.
They wrecked a bunch of buildings.
Yep. I used to go riding over there because they got all the pits over there.
Yeah.
But they still got parts of it up. But it's spooky, man. I don't want to be going in there.
I never tried it. I got the app. I got the Spirit Talker app on my
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Got it.
Like, yeah, man. No, I'm a magnet. I know I am.
There's definitely more than meets the eye.
I hang out in the graveyards. The one I usually hang out is the top one at the very
By Taco Bell?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, top of like Stop and Shop right
Yep.
across the street, out with that one. I hang out with the one that's South Wyndham. That's one of the oldest ones around here.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Which one? The one by Walmart?
No, it's so go down this road.
32? Yep.
And once you hit the next intersection, past everything else, right before you get to
Valero?
the
Yeah,
gas station.
yep.
Yup.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one on the hill.
Yeah. You take another left.
Before the big corner.
Yeah, and it's on the right hand side.
I didn't know it was that old.
Yeah, that thing is super old.
I like stuff like that.
There's another one. I dragged.
Look how big the threads are.
Gravestones out of one of them that's a little bit further up.
Yep.
Towards Norwich, more or less.
Yep.
So I didn't notice at the time, but there was a bunch of gravestones that were thrown in the woods.
That's not cool.
No, absolutely not. And by the time I got down to like the last two or whatever,
Yep.
I'm gonna pull it out and it says Carl. My fucking name is Carl.
Oh,
I was like, man, no.
you're doing the right thing though.
I put them all in my trunk. Piled them all around a tree that's at the beginning of the cemetery.
Make them fix that shit.
Yeah. Why they sit in the woods?
Yeah, no, that's wild. That's wild, dude.
Setting.
No, it is. Well, I'm gonna run, Carl. I gotta go meet somebody.
I'm headed up
Nice to meet you,
myself,
though,
man.
dude. If you ever see you, if you need anything, let me know, bro.
Hey, no worries.
Same. Stay safe. I don't know who Carl was, but sorry, guys. Carl wanted to talk, so talk to Carl. But yeah, that's the Frog Bridge, and it's good to get some information out of the locals who've been here. Like, I wasn't born here. I moved out to this area when I was like 10. So the Frog Bridge was already built, and there's another part over here we can go check out, which is another part to the. You can't see the real footbridge from here. The real footbridge is right over there. But over here they got another crossing. Oh, we can go. But this is getting down into the devil's area. Because this is, oh, sorry guys. This is DCF territory we're coming into down here. Which Willimantic DCF just seems to be a bunch of crooks. And they kind of just do whatever they want. They don't look into certain people. God damn, do your brakes. They won't look into certain people. They'll harass other people. People that they should look into, they don't. They put kids back, and they're putting kids back in homes right now with their parents all strung out and messed up, doing nothing, not doing the right thing, just because DCF doesn't want to be responsible for the kid. Which I don't really agree with DCF either way. It doesn't seem like many times they're actually needed or it's right. But I don't see how you could take somebody's kids, terminate their rights, and then years later say, oh, this kid's too much, take her back. Here, take her back. You haven't done anything to better your life. You're still all messed up. You just failed a hair test. You just failed a nail tox test. You failed everything over the past 10 years, however many ever years we've had this child. But take her back. And even though they're getting complaints from certain people, like I heard multiple people have complained, DCF refuses to investigate her for other children because they're trying to force this one kid back. I mean, they haven't flat out said that, but why else would they refuse to, you know what I mean, investigate somebody for valid complaints when they've already taken all these other kids. She lost every kid she ever had. Yet they don't want to investigate her. But this is the footpath. I don't know when this was built, but that building's DCF and some other stuff. There's part of the old mill right there. And I didn't know, like I told that dude, you can go find the fire. When the mill caught on fire, it's on YouTube. It was pretty wild. I didn't sit there and watch the whole thing, but I watched some of it. I was like, holy crap, what's the amp? Garden on the bridge. Did they fix any of this? Yeah, look at it. All these pots and stuff. Cracking, breaking. I come through here, there are literally parts, whole sides laying down. But yeah, come to the amp, the garden on the bridge. It's kind of like they just build stuff and then they never take care of it. This is the little waterfall here. I'll stand up on the thing so we can see it. This part I have fished, and there are fish in here, but it's still not, I mean, I've never caught anything great in here. Smaller than I remember it. I haven't been out here in a while, so. Or I think the water's actually higher down here than usual. Usually it's a lot lower. Oh, so there is a fall there. We couldn't see it, but there's a fall there. There's a fall here. And these were all old mills. Like, here, we'll get up higher. See? But look at how there's rocks. You'd never swim in here. Or kayak, or, I mean, there's waterfalls anyways, but it's not really deep here. And you got water in here. They didn't do anything with those. No windows. I see railings in there. But they do have stone walls. Imagine how long it took to build all these stone walls back in the day. Let's see what's on this side. I don't know what's down lower. Ooh, another huge. They have such big rocks in here, dude. Huge. And I don't know, it doesn't really see, you can see one big, huge one there. I don't think it's that deep. I think there's little spots here where it's deep. But it's not that deep. They got a fence up along the whole thing. Let's see the bottom. We can see the backside of the mill. The old mill. I used to hate heights, dude. I would never do anything up high before I started my job now. Even when I roofed, we didn't do houses higher than 2 stories. And that's the tracks he was talking about. So you can't get on the tracks there. You got to go around because you got to walk under it here. But if you go under and up, you can get on there. And this is about it. But again, nobody uses, like, growing up, kids used to be swimming all of the trestles we showed up there. That was like the spot, dude. Everybody was always going there swimming, which this river is kind of disgusting. They say it's not, but it is. Homeless people set up camp every summer, kind of under where we were before, and all along this river. But it's not. I'm not blaming them why the river's disgusting, because they're not the problem. The river was disgusting way before then. But it's just a dirty ass river. People throwing stuff in it all the time. It's gross water. But they do use it up by, well, I don't know if Lauder Park is even the same river, to be honest, but that's where people swim here in Willimantic, which Lauder Park, it's not deep. There's not a big area. It's nothing I mean, it's something. It's better than nothing, but it's nothing crazy. So I didn't even, who's on here? Yeah, jump. I'm not jumping. Jump into the water where there's rocks right there. It doesn't even make sense. You can come jump though. I showed you where it is. So if you want to do it that bad, feel free. I can't believe they actually named this though. I didn't know that was the amp, and that they were trying to get people to go there now. But that's it, guys. This is Willimantic. There's not, honestly, much going on out here ever. And this is kind of why the police have to go out and create their crime. They have to justify having all these cops that they may have needed 10, 20, 30 years ago. they do not need them anymore like they did. Even from 15 years ago when I like really first started, how old am I? So yeah, 20 years ago when I first started coming out here, it was a completely different town. It was, I'm never going to say it was really like a hardcore town because I don't feel, I mean, it's definitely got people out here that could be, but like overall, it's not a city. It's not Hartford. It's not Bridgeport. It's not any of these towns. The issue out here was two things. Lots of drugs. There was drugs everywhere. And the media kind of ruined the image of Willimantic, I feel like, forever, because anytime you say Willimantic anywhere, that's the first thing people say is heroin capital of the world, when Willimantic, Connecticut was never the heroin capital of anything, ever. Never, ever, ever was it the heroin capital. But 60 Minutes came out here and, you know, did a report, and that's what they named it. So that's what everybody called it, and it's got that stigma, and it's never, I don't know, at this point, it's never going to go away, it seems like. Like I said before, they were known for actually being a recovery town and helping people and doing things like that. There was tons of programs, this and that. That retard that worked at Perceptions, Jeff, I forgot his last name, but I mean, Perceptions acts like it is a big surprise that he ruined the program. And it's really not that surprising because he's never ran a program. Why would you put somebody in a position to run something like that when they've never done it? It doesn't make any sense to me. He was a finance guy. He went to school to learn finances. And he backdoored a deal with Roots, which is the local, all they do is methadone out here. They bought out the methadone clinic here. They bought out the methadone clinics everywhere. And they changed the law in Connecticut where it's going to be easier for people with addictions to get medication and stuff like that, because right now, if you had a problem and you wanted help, your options are to see a Suboxone doctor, see a methadone doctor, or see nobody and figure it out. But if you want to be on methadone, you got to go, the clinic's down there, they go every day. You have to go every day, you got to do this, you got to do that, and they're making it easier on people now. So, I forgot about this thing over here, but so now any doctor can write you a script for what you need. It's not just these specialists that are just robbing everybody. Because you go to the methadone clinic and they literally try and milk your insurance for everything that they can. They make you do all this excessive stuff even if you don't need to do it. They force you to do it so they can get paid for it. Well, Jeff made a deal with Roots where Perceptions was going to get sold to Roots. And Jeff blew it. He ended up selling. They were going to buy Roots because they wanted the sober houses and the halfway houses. We have this out here too. I forgot about this. I'm surprised they don't have one of them gang flags here. This memorial is dedicated to the town of Wyndham's servicemen and women known and unknown to us who gave their lives in defense of our nation. We honor your sacrifice. 2005. Why is this shit out here? The fuck's going on, dude? You guys got shit just hanging out here. This is pathetic. Set this stuff up right. I thought it was just a piece of styrofoam. But yeah, so Jeff made a deal to sell Perceptions to Roots. Then I kind of know what went on, but I can't talk about it. But some things happened, and he ended up selling off the properties. Well, the whole reason Roots was going to buy Perceptions was for the properties, right? Well, so they didn't buy it. They backed out. Jeff drove everything into the ground, right? They had to shut Perceptions down, and then they still went and gave him a job at Roots. And even though he was the finance guy that had no history of running programs, that ran a program and just ruined it, he failed. There's no other way to look at it. You failed at that job. Roots hired him as human resources. How does this finance guy that has no experience except for finance, that just failed at the last thing he did, get an HR position here at the company that was supposed to buy out his last job that didn't. You figured they'd be upset about, you know what I mean, not being able to buy the properties that everything fell through. No, they just hired him instead for another job he's not fit for. Nonprofits are a scam. I don't care what anybody says. They are a scam. That dude, the state of Connecticut, people tried to get the program audited for the years he was there. Well, Connecticut said since he didn't have an independent third-party audit, they couldn't audit him or the program. How can you not? It's the law that he had to get an audit every year, third party. He didn't do it, so the state said instead of, you know what I mean, doing their own or pressing charges or anything, just no, we can't do it. That's not how, I mean, that's how it works, but it's not how it should work. It seems like the only people in this country that actually get held accountable for breaking laws are citizens, normal working Joes like you and me. Nobody else. Look at anybody that's rich. They're not held to the same standard. They can afford to. Look at Diddy. Look at all the stuff Diddy just got away with just because he had a good legal team. Just because of the jury. Like, yeah, he's still going to get in trouble, but he got away with most of the real stuff. If that was you or me, we'd be smoked right now. We'd be sitting in jail still. Huh? Good, how are you? Oh, it's Josh. I didn't even see you. What up, bro? I saw you. I didn't know it was you. How you been? You need anything? You need water or anything?
If you got cold water, yeah.
I'll go buy you something from the bar. I mean the package store. Where are you now?
My wife and I got an apartment there.
You did? That's good. I was just over at the Frog Bridge. I said, damn, I ain't seen this guy in a while.
Yeah, I work at a chicken farm.
You do on 32? That one?
No,
Good for you, dude. I'm so fucking happy for you.
I just got out of the hospital. I had a fucking heart attack.
No, you didn't. How old are you, dude?
39.
Hey. From what?
Drugs.
Pretty much. That sucks, dude. You doing all right now?
Find out I got an infection around my heart, and if it doesn't go away, I'm gonna have to go to Boston Hospital and get sac removed.
Hot today, huh, fellas?
It's real, man. That's horrible, dude. Is your job working with you? They giving you the time off you need?
Yeah,
That's cool. That's fucking brutal.
my wife works.
Where were you when it happened?
I was at home, thank God.
She was home with you?
Yep.
She caught it? You're lucky, dude, because that's just like falling out, dude. If nobody's there, you're done.
I don't know what's going on. I've been having seizures.
You should be out in this heat, bro.
I know.
Seizures and stuff like that, that shit's not good. Not good, dude. You still got the puppy?
Oh, yeah.
How's she? Yeah? How old is she now? Jesus Christ. But she's tiny though, right? Small little thing?
Yeah.
Where'd you guys get an apartment? Close at least?
Hold on,
If you want to sit, I'll go get you something. I'll bring it back.
no.
I don't want
I
you
gotta get out. No,
fucking stroking out, guy. Go sit in the shade right there.
dude, I'm fucked up.
I'll go get you a drink. What do you want?
Having chest pains, and then my hands and feet went numb.
Yeah, all the signs.
My fucking arm felt like who's on it? Oh, I supposed to be going up my fucking arm.
That's brutal. The cops been leaving you alone? When,
Here we are.
when have they been fucking with you?
Okay. Here we are dropping.
Who?
Lily are pulled down
Giller?
my pants and my fucking underwear in front of everyone.
When?
A couple months ago. in front of my
Dude, he
boss.
did that to somebody else.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, dude, and I put the video out. Did you see that? I showed everybody, dude. You gotta fucking, yeah.
I need your phone number.
I'm gonna give it to you. I need your name, because I'll go pull it all.
I need help to file a lawsuit.
Dude,
I
that's,
don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna sit on the bench.
what do you want to drink? I get you whatever you want.
Water. Cold water.
Regular water?
Yeah, this is hot as hell.
I'll get you one. That's Josh. Sorry, guys. I know this isn't interesting, but hold on. get him a few, I think. Get him this close. What up, guys?
How are you?
Trying to stay cool. How are you? Oh, this is mine. Sorry. Good?
Yep, you're all set.
Thank you, bud. Stay cool. Have a good one. I'm probably going to end this in a second just so we could talk to him. I don't want all his personal information out on here. That's a parking spot. Where'd he go? Where are you? Alright. I'm gonna end this. I'll come back. I'm just walking. I came out here for the parade. Hold on, I'm trying to. There was.